you ever snapped at your kids and you feel that regret afterwards, if you're a dad and you've ever reacted in this way where you say something you didn't really mean it, but it's life stress, it's the pressures of life, it starts to seep into your relationships and how you react to people, especially when you're emotionally drained. But what if I could show you how to stay calm and change how you feel yourself around your family and your kids so that you don't get caught up in all of the emotional stress and how you react under that stress? Even when life feels heavy, I can show you how to change how you feel by just using these basic principles. If you sit through this video and you really learn this and apply it to your life and take 100% accountability and responsibility for developing this mindset, it will add huge value to your kids and yourself. And if you skim through it, you don't learn anything by skimming through videos like this. You just get a concept and then you forget about it like 5 minutes later. The mind needs to learn this stuff by stacking the deck. Repetition is the mother of all skills. Repetition, repetition. Watch this video all the way through and download the PDF that I'm going to give you at the end of this, because it's going to add huge value to your life and you're taking 100% responsibility for your own behavior and your own actions. If you do that, things will change. But if you keep skimming through videos looking for fast fixes, you're not going to change in the way that you'd like to. This would be the best way to do it. I'm Paul Campbell and I've been helping people with these issues of emotional burnout and stress and communication. And I use advanced persuasion and influence techniques. And I'm trained in working with deeper levels of the mind, the unconscious part of the mind, where people are reacting in ways that they don't choose to do it, but there's just kind of like, I don't know, I just feel like this and I don't know why. I work with that part of you that is kind of in the background and it's holding you back. So today I'm going to share 5 practical tips. And if you apply these tips, you'll become a more mindful dad. If you just skim through this, you're not going to learn anything from it. So as best you can, treat this video like it's going to change your life, because it will. If you watch it through a few times and you download a PDF and you keep these principles in mind every time you're going into a conversation with someone, not even with your kids, but with everybody in general, this will help you to avoid letting stress build over into your family life. So stick around, and at the end, I'm going to give you access to this free PDF guide, and it contains all of these tips, and you'll have them at your fingertips whenever you need them. So let's get straight into it. Tip number 1, the most important thing that you can align with in any moment, and it's something I check in on all the time, is what is your intention? Before you say anything, ask yourself, is my intention to help my child feel better? And this applies to everybody, but in most cases, people are reacting to their kids and the kids are getting affected by their dad's low mood and their dad's stresses. This one question can change everything. And you should check in on it all the time. All the way through this, I'm going to give you 4 more tips to be able to apply to your life. Every one of them I'm going to mention intention, because it's going to help all of these other tips light up much better. They kind of hold hands. And when one of these other tips becomes difficult, you always go back to this first one, which is, what is my intention? Is my intention to help them? And when you're clear on your intention and you're clear about what your intention is, it shows in your body language and it'll come across in your tone as well. And it helps you to stay grounded, even when work-related stress and other frustrations are starting to weigh in on you. Remember, simplest way to do this, your intention is that you love them. Of course you love them. You're their parent. You love them and you genuinely want to help them. You can always keep coming back to this. I'm their parent, I love them, and I genuinely want to help them. And that's true at every level. Keep this in mind. And it's going to come across in your delivery. It's going to change what you say and how you say it. So tip number 2 is mastering your emotional state. People are pointing outwards too much and they're blaming the circumstances on how they're feeling inside. But if you take 100% responsibility and accountability for your own mood, then what you do about what's happening outside will change. So it's what you're doing inside about what's happening outside. You need to control that. You need to get on top of that. If you don't get on top of that, life is going to be more difficult. And if you do get on top of it, you're going to teach your kids a very valuable lesson that no matter what's happening outside, you have the power to change how you feel yourself. So I'm going to give you some basic principles here to be able to apply this, because if you're not in a good mood, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're feeling overwhelmed from work-related stress, whatever's going on in your life, or you're feeling overwhelmed from just things in general, it's important for you to be able to make that decision and take responsibility, to take a step back and not point outwards and blame what's happening outside, but to take to step back and think, how can I change how I feel inside about what's happening outside so I can approach it better? So take a step back and evaluate your mood before taking action or talking to your kids. It's like, am I in the right mood to influence this person? Yes or no? And the answer is no. Don't approach them. Evaluate it and think, should I approach this person when I'm in a bad mood, or can I change my mood? Ask yourself, am I in the right mood to even give them advice? So here's a quick, simple, practical tip. It's overlooked. And people have forgotten to do this. I know, because I see a lot of people that are stuck and they forget to breathe. It's a simple technique, but most people are going, oh, that breathing stuff makes a difference. The one thing that you are in control of is your breathing. And when you change your breathing, it changes your mood. That's one thing you can control consciously. If there's stuff going on outside that you're not really in control of, you can always go back to controlling your breathing. And that feeling of control starts to make you feel like you're doing something, and it's constructive. And it also changes how you feel because your body's listening to those breaths. And when you slow down your breathing, you slow down your mind. So find a quiet spot and really start to learn this and take responsibility for these tips. And ask yourself, even after, if you forget about this, ask yourself, did I apply any of this to the conversation if you get into an argument? And I guarantee you, you will have missed some of them or all of them. Even applying one of them will make a difference. So you find a quiet place, take a few deep breaths in, and you're just basically slowing down your breathing, taking longer breaths in and making your exhale about twice as long as your inhale. Just slow, deep breaths, no particular timing, but just deep, slow breaths. Because if you notice someone when they're stressed, they have this shallow breath. And that's not helpful when you're trying to have a calm conversation with someone. And when you're slowing down your breathing, then just go back to tip number one, reconnect with your intention. Remind yourself that you love them and you just want what's best for them. And when you hold this pure intention in your mind, it will help your kids see you as a leader who guides them and lifts them up when they're feeling down. Because a good leader lifts a person up, they guide a person in the right direction, and they can see the bigger picture. A good leader doesn't put people down. It's not a good idea to raise your voice and put them down, because that's not your intention. Your intention is not to make them feel worse. Your intention is to help them. And kids don't behave better when they feel bad. When they feel better, they behave better. By keeping this in mind, it will help you to show up as the best parent that you want to be. And that's what you want. You want to be the best parent. You want to show up as the best parent. And how good would it feel for them to see their parents being able to apply these principles in their life and be able to be influenced by watching their parents? They watched you when they were learning to walk, and they'll watch you when they're learning to change how they feel. They see everything, and they remember everything you do. They remember what you do and not what you say in most cases, especially in challenging times, like if they're stressed out and they're feeling frustrated and you show up and you can slow down and you can be aligned with your intention and you can put yourself into a better mood. That's priceless. So keep watching through all these tips and add them to your life. Take 100% accountability and responsibility for your own actions and your own behaviors. If you apply this mindset, you'll be stronger, and you can't blame what's happening outside anymore. You're taking full control over what's happening inside and changing how you feel about what's happening outside. So tip number 3, be mindful of your tone. How you say something is just as crucial as what you say. Your tone can convey either support and understanding or frustration. And it can come across as impatient if you say things a certain way. It can come across as condescending. So during challenging conversations, make a conscious effort to maintain a calm and steady tone. And how you do this, it'll be valuable for you to just go back to tip number 1 again and hold that in mind and remind yourself, my intention is I love them and I genuinely want to help them. Just slow down your breathing. I do. I love them and I genuinely want to help them. And this is true at every level. If you're not connected to your intention, then whatever you say may come across to them as condescending and hostile and dismissive. So remind yourself, my intention is to help them because I love them. And in that moment, just notice how this love, when you start to connect with it, how it actually affects the tone of your voice, how you come across differently and how it sounds differently. Have a listen to yourself when you're connected to your love. They'll pick it up. They'll pick it up from across the room if you're connected to your intention. So before speaking, quickly consider your tone and how it might be perceived by your child. So how are they perceiving your tone? Just listen to yourself. And even when you listen to your tone, you might hear the tone that will remind you of someone that used to talk to you like that, you know? So just have a listen and see, does that tone come across as condescending and impatient? So just have a listen. And if you want to do this yourself and have something simple and practical to be able to do this, then try practice speaking in front of a mirror or recording yourself on your phone. Take action with this stuff. Don't just skim through it and then hope that it sticks. The mind doesn't learn that way. The mind learns by repetition, 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 repetition. Okay? Train yourself. Even though it's going to seem silly sometimes if you're looking in the mirror and talking to yourself, so what? If it's going to help your kids, would you do it? You know, try practice speaking in front of a mirror and ask yourself, what was that tone? Did that tone come across as just rushing through it or condescending, or did it come across as loving and kind? What is my intention? My intention is I love them and I want to help them. And then say it again, or record yourself on your phone and have a listen, just for the hell of it. Just try it out and see what happens, and you might be surprised, and see if you can make improvements by playing around with it. And do this for the kids. Don't just do it for them. Do it for you as well, because it's going to help them practice being mindful of your tone. And a lot of people aren't. They'll just say things and the kid picks it up as condescending. Even though the parent's genuinely trying to help, they're just not aligned with their intention, and their tone is different, and they're in a weird mood, and the kid thinks they're from Mars. So make sure you're aligned with your intention and ensure that it's helpful and it's kind. Tip number 4, tune into your child's emotional state. So just like you, make your child can feel the effects of stress. It affects everybody. Don't overlook this. They're going through a lot more stuff than we went through in our life in most cases, because they've got a lot more information to try and process. And they've got social media and all that competition and, you know, expectations and all this stuff that's going on in their life. Just take that into consideration. Your child can feel the effects of stress as well. And if they're upset, sometimes the best thing that you can do is be there for them, because when they're stressed, sometimes they just want to have someone to listen to them. They don't want advice. So as best you can, just resist the urge to jump in with advice and just practice listening and let them know you're present and you're ready to hear them. It's not always easy. You know, it's going to be really unfamiliar, because the feeling to just get in there and just like, here's what you, because you can see the answers, but they can't. But if you listen to them, they might get more benefit from that, because sometimes it's not what you say, it's what you don't say that can make the biggest difference. And it's not always about fixing the problem. Sometimes they just need to feel understood without any additional advice. It's a really powerful one. Spend a day, just practice listening to people and don't talk. You know, don't give them advice. Just listen. Ask them questions if you want to ask them more questions. They'll feel like you're really listening if you ask them more questions. So tip number 5, as best you can, choose to be kind and helpful. If you want to stick this one on the fridge, is what I'm going to say, kind and helpful. It's brilliant. Because most people, when they say something, they don't think about this. Is what I'm saying kind and helpful, or am I just trying to get my point across? You know, it's useful information, but it's coming across as hostile, you know. So is it kind and is it helpful? Really think about that and just play it through in your mind and see if whatever you're going to say plays out in a positive way in their life. How are they perceiving it? Not how you're perceiving it, because the meaning is made inside of them. Whatever you mean might not mean the same thing to them. So just really take a little moment to consider this. And it's fun to do this stuff because you feel like you're in control of your own behavior, which is a great thing, isn't it? So tip 5 is, as best you can, choose to be kind and helpful. Before you speak, ask yourself, are my words kind and helpful? Write it on your phone. I'm going to give you a PDF with all this stuff on it anyway. But I used to have this written on the fridge, and I had it on a sticker. Is it kind and helpful? If not, take a moment to rethink about what you're going to say before you say it. For example, if you're thinking about saying, why aren't you listening? Just pause for a moment and ask yourself, is what I'm about to say kind and helpful? Now, it might seem like a simple statement, you know, but it might be offensive to them. Why aren't you listening? Maybe just try asking them, what can I do to help? And be mindful of your tone as well. What can I do to help? Not that. It's like, what can I do to help? Connect with your intention. You love them and you genuinely want to help them. What can I do to help? Or would you like to talk about this now or later? Because this approach makes your message constructive and it helps you to avoid letting any frustration influence your tone. Giving them the choice is the best thing you can do, because they might say, no, I don't want your advice. Leave me alone. And then evaluate and come back later on and see if it's a better time to give it another shot or not. But you giving them that power to say, do you want me to come back now or later? That can make it the world of a difference. So by choosing a kinder phrase, you're more likely to create a more positive interaction with your kids and maintain a helpful dialogue with your child. So make it more like a dance and not a fight. You're kind of dancing. When you're dancing, you're kind of pacing and leading, and you're moving with the person, and sometimes they're leading and sometimes you're leading and sometimes you're following and sometimes they're following. It's more like a dance rather than a fight. A fight is kind of like push and pull. But this is more like pace and lead. It's kind of like a dance. Just think of it more like a dance. How can you lead the person, not just walk in there and push them? No, think of communication with your kids like a dance and not a battle. It's about learning to move together, not move against each other. So when you've mastered this approach, it will be less likely that you will let life's pressures bleed into your conversations. And if you're still watching this video, that means you're serious about it. That means you're serious about changing your communication skills to add value to your life. And practicing these tips will help you maintain a positive connection with your child and a positive connection with everybody in your life, because you'll realize that you're in control of a conversation and how the person feels. And you can either make them feel bad or you can make them feel good. Either way, you're going to change how they feel. Do it on purpose. Learn these principles. They're very powerful. They're just the basic, simple principles that people have totally forgotten about to check in on, and they're just reacting in conversations, and then they have regrets afterwards. So avoid regrets. Train yourself and be disciplined in this. Even if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, take responsibility. Take accountability for your own. If you're in a bad mood, it's on you. I'm not denying that there's stuff happening outside, but what you say inside about what's happening outside, that's on you. Someday you might realize it, and you want to realize it now instead of waiting until you're really old and going, shit, I could have said it differently. Do it now. Why wait? This approach will make a big difference, not only in your life, but in your children's life. It's about being in more harmony with your intention, being aligned with your intention, and not being in more harmony with your stress and aligned with your stress, So remember, we talked about a free PDF guide, and I mentioned it at the beginning of this video. If you're still here, well done, because most people will skip on to another video about cats and some funny stuff to entertain them, and they're looking for quick fixes and instant gratification. But instant gratification is not happiness. So well done for staying so far. So the free PDF is called The Mindful Dad, 5 Essential Tips for Stress-Free Parenting, and it's packed with practical tools to help you to put these strategies into action. I made it small. It's only 3 pages long so that it doesn't steal too much of your life away. Kind of kept it simple, and it includes 5-step checklist and an easy to follow diagram that you can just look at a few times, and then you're like, okay, I've got the gist of this, and just interpret it in your own way. And if you want to write the tips down, check in on it every day and practice by applying just one a day. Today I'm going to practice listening. Today I'm going to practice breathing. Today I'm going to practice just checking in with my intention all the time. Today I'm going to practice asking myself, is what I'm going to say kind and helpful? You could do one a day, but if you do this, you will get better at it. If you don't do it, nothing changes. So if you're a dad and you're having emotional issues, you're struggling, you've got a lot of stuff that you feel like you can't change yourself, and you feel like you'll need a little bit of help, and you want to break through and change how you feel, go to my website and request a free discovery call with me. I'm here to help you navigate life's pressures and find a balance in your life, and help you to let go of overwhelm and change how you feel about stuff that you feel might be holding you back. That's what I'm here for. I work one-to-one with people as well. If you feel like you need some of that, give me a shout, and you'll discover straight away that I can help you. Just by talking on that first free discovery call, you'll start to realize, okay, this is possible. I can change this other stuff in my life. Either way, if you get value from this video, it's great. Apply this to your life. Every small step towards mindful parenting will make a big difference in your children's life and in your life as well. So you've got this. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments below. Take care, and I'll see you in the next